Very quick disclaimer here, but there's a couple of audio issues in the first 5 minutes of this video, which comes from some Bluetooth headphones being Bluetooth headphones. Don't worry, it's only for the 5 minutes. If you can push through it, the rest of the video is pretty much clean. So, yeah, hope you enjoy today's video. Hello, everybody, and welcome back to This Week in Yu-Gi-Oh!, the weekly Yu-Gi-Oh! News podcast. Today, we can welcome back Salad, as he is back from the West Country, and we're going to be talking all about Yu-Gi-Oh! News from this week. The topics for this week are going to be the new YCS in Dortmund. We are going to talk about the new Volmonica card that got announced. We're going to talk about the Memento archetype. And we're also going to talk about some tournament reports. So before we get started, how was Cornwall, Salad?
Sunny, warm, no signal. So even if I wanted to read the news, I couldn't. So I'm glad I have this incredible podcast to do it for me.
Oh, amazing. That's what we love to hear. Glad you enjoyed your little venture to the West Country. But you're back now, so let's get talking about Yu-Gi-Oh! So our first topic today is YCS Dortmund. Got announced earlier this week.
With 6 months notice? 6 weeks notice.
Yes, 6 weeks notice. Amazing. It starts on my birthday, which is amazing. The dates are from the 30th of September to the 1st of October. I know I won't be able to come because right as university restarts. How about you, Slad? Are you going?
I won't be going because it's 6 weeks notice before the event, and that's quite a lot of time to get, travel booked and time off work booked, and I'll just wait for London, to be honest.
Yeah, it's probably what I'm going to be doing this season as well because, getting tickets for a trip to Germany and hotel tickets and all of that bollocks is a lot of work, especially to do on 6 weeks' notice.
Which
yeah. But yeah, so it starts on the 30th of September to the 1st of October. We assume it's going to be the same ban list we have now. There hasn't really been any rumours about a ban list, so probably another cash tier at hub.
When
do we reckon?
Tins out?
Tins are out end of October,
Okay.
I want to say.
I don't think we're getting a ban list before Tins, so...
Yeah, probably not. I mean, we could use one, because this format's getting a little bit stale at this point.
What do you mean?
But,
we love a
I guess,
hot pass.
Yeah, I mean, I guess Pearly's doing more bits now that's had new support announced, but I can't see this anything other than a Kashtira win, to be honest.
I don't know. Lab is a deck.
Well, I suppose so. But the most interesting news that has come out from this tournament is the price to play. It's now €45, which is £39, I want to say, £38.
It's double. It's double what it used to be.
Yeah, it's doubled, and that's odd. It's been £20 for as long as I can remember, since my first YCS in 2018.
Yeah.
I want to say.
It's been £20 for a lot longer than that.
Yeah, and suddenly dropped out to 45. We haven't really been given a reason as to why it's doubled, as far as I've seen. Anyway, they have doubled the amount of packs you get in the entry prize pool. It used to be 5 packs of the most recent set. It is now 10, which is around equivalent of RRP for booster packs.
That's actually in Konami policy. If you're running an official tournament, you have to give packs equal to the amount you're charging.
Yeah, but I don't quite think the additional 5 packs makes up for that £20 value.
Because whenever I've edited like a YCS or a Nationals or anything like that, those booster packs haven't even got my
mind when I've edited the tournament. It's all been about, well, I want to play this tournament and I want to do well.
Yeah, it's a nice boat.
And I think having €45 as your prize point is going to price a few people out, especially people who don't think they're going to win the event or top the event. It's just taking more money away from them they could do to play side events. So I wouldn't be surprised if we see the main event of the tournament have a lower player count than we've seen in recent YCSs. Like, obviously, most of them have been breaking records and booming and all that sort of stuff. But if I was going to this event knowing how much I've actually practiced the meta, I would probably just be playing side events to farm the prize wall. So yeah, I can see a lot of people playing side events rather than playing the main event, and I don't know, that's not a good thing, I don't think. What are your opinions on that?
I think one of the things that a lot of people haven't been talking about is the fact that so many people who turn up to these events are local players, and at €20 or €25, whatever it was, you can justify that. But 45, a casual player from locals 2 towns over isn't going to come play. So we're going to have a big drop off of attendance in them, I think. It makes an already expensive trip even more expensive for people coming from abroad. Like the 5 packs, you can't even use the pools in your entry, so you can't like pull the last bestial you didn't manage to get and then put it in your deck list because you've already submitted. All in all, I think it's not a good choice for attendance. In terms of side events, I really hope they don't go up as well, because side events are the most fun but also the most profitable part of the trip for a lot of people. Sort of you can make your money back by farming mats if that's what you want to do for your time at YCS. So if side events are double in price as well, it's going to become a lot more competitive, a lot less fun, in my opinion. Like I play speed duels. I never play speed duels outside these events, but I will not be playing €15 a go.
Yeah, no, I think that's totally fair. And yeah, if the side event prices go up as well, these tournaments become extremely expensive very quickly, especially when like you expect a card to drop at X3. Like that can happen after like 7-8 rounds if you've had like a bad run or something like that, and you've paid like €45 for that experience.
Well, also the flip side is, I expect to go into the main event and drop round 4 because I don't play the meta. So am I even going to enter for €45? Probably not. I'll just start side events even earlier.
Yeah, I think that's probably what I would do if I was going to YCS Dortmund. It'd be interesting to see if this is maybe just like a location thing.
Yeah, it's possible the Dortmund venue is super expensive this year, but then they have other German venues. Like they've used hotels in Berlin in the past that were great venues. So
yeah, and that's the point I'm trying to make, is that if the venue is so expensive that you can't justify doing the tournament at the same price range you've been doing for the last easily 10 years, then maybe it's just you have to go to a different city, or you have to go to a different venue rather than Dortmund. And I don't even think Dortmund is that extreme of an expensive place in Germany. Like, it's no Munich. Like,
like I said, Berlin was the other cheap location we used before, but there's Dusseldorf has been a previous YCS that was pretty cheap. There's a lot of German cities that have venues big enough to host this.
Yeah, and I think like the price of living in Germany is actually lower than it is here in the UK for the majority of things, such as rent. So you would expect that maybe to transition into the pricing of like renting spaces, but maybe it's not. Maybe it's the complete opposite. Maybe they can have their actual rents lower because stuff like this costs more.
Although
I don't know. We're all speculating at this point.
The flip argument to this is that we have much cheaper entries than Pokemon and Magic the Gathering, or at least have for the last 10 years. This is sort of bringing us more in line. Like our friend who plays Magic was saying, it's been €70 for the big events, like what do they call them? The tours or whatever. But they do have cash prizes, and we win a Nintendo Switch. So
yeah, you would expect if they're going to bring the entries in line with the other two big of the top 3 card games, then you have to bring the pricing in line as well. Well, do we have the... We do not have the pricing for the Top Cup, but I know the top 8 all get Nintendo Switches, either an Ultra Super prize cards, and I think
Steam,
top 2
Steam Decks now
gets... no, it is Nintendo Switches. I did check that because Steam Deck's obviously worth more than a Nintendo Switch, and I thought that could have been a reason why they might have increased the price. But no, it is Nintendo Switches this time around, unlike YCS London, which was Steam Decks.
Okay, so
yeah, that's probably enough to talk about this. It's an event. It'll probably be fun if you can justify paying the pricing for it, and you can get work. You can get the holiday off work in the 6-week notice we've been given. But yeah, it'll be interesting to see where this tournament goes.
It'll be fun. It'll be a send-off for the format, most likely. So,
fucking hopefully. Banner eyes up. We'll go on to our second topic now. Yeah, I do. It's also band shifter. We'll go on to our second topic now, though, and there is a new Valmonica card. We spoke about this archetype on episode 2 of the podcast. We went through the entirety of it, but we've had one more support card. If you haven't watched that episode, I'll give you a brief rundown of what the deck does. It is a pendulum sort of deck where you have an angel and a devil on each shoulder, and you're getting basically karma points, where you put counters on either the angel or the devil on your left and right shoulder, based on if you are gaining life points or taking damage. And this card plays into that plan quite well. So it's a spell card. It is Valmonica Skelter. You can only activate a card with this card's name once per turn. Apply one of these effects, your opponent's choice if you do not have a Valmonica card in your pendulum zone. You can either gain 500 life points, then you can place one card from your hand to the bottom of your deck, and if you do, draw 2 cards, or you can take 500 damage, then you can add a Valmonica spell trap from your deck to your hand, except for another copy of Skelter. What are your thoughts on this, Slav?
So notably, in the other effects, there was a Monster Searcher, I believe, then there's the Field Spell, which sort of makes the deck work. Maybe they're the same card, maybe the Field Spell searches the monster, I don't remember. But, I mean, both effects here are good. Searching, good. Drawing 2, actually less good on this card. Draw 2 is normally a buzzword card, but this is actually neutral in card advantage, so it's not broken, it's just nice. I mean, it's a very good card. It's not sort of the win condition the deck needs still, but consistency is always nice. Still not sure what you do with this deck, but this is a very good card.
Yeah, I remember when we were talking about these cards the first time around, every single spell, you were mentioning that your opponent could just make you do something that doesn't do anything. And this card, thankfully, both effects are always activatable, because the cards you play from your hand to the bottom of the deck could be any card. It doesn't have to be a Valmonica card, and you can always add a spell trap from your deck, assuming you haven't gone through them all. So,
although, flip side, if you activate this blind and don't have the pendulum monster, then you can search spell and trap, and they can make you do the bad effect of that one.
Yes, I guess that is true. I guess you can add the field spell.
But yeah, I guess that's true.
Which doesn't have a bad effect. Another thing to consider is that if you control a link monster and you banish this card from your graveyard with that link monster, you get to apply both of these effects, which I think could be amazing. It actually gives some elements of a win condition, kind of, because putting a card back and drawing 2 that's just Heat Soul, really. You're putting a card back and you're just drawing 2 cards after you've finished your deck already. It's basically Heat Soul, and you also get to search for a spell trap, which is...
You apply in sequence, right, with the link?
Yeah, you apply so sequence, so you can't...
Well, I'm thinking you can put the card back and then add back the card you put back, if you're so inclined. But, yeah, you can't deck fin first, which is a bit of a shame.
Yeah, you can't deck fin first, but being able to do both of these every single turn could possibly be something that actually gives the deck a win condition. Just like play the engine, play a bunch of hand traps, and then just banish this, draw 2, search another spell trap, and if one of those spell traps can get you back to this for your next turn, hey presto, you have a win condition.
I mean, is that a win condition? Because like you could claim that was Sky Striker's win condition, but Sky Striker at least had removal. This deck just has vibes.
I guess, but this is kind of like a parallel to the Mathmech win condition, where you're just trying to get to as many hand traps as possible to slow your opponent down so you can just kill them on the grab back.
That's an interesting way to describe Access Code Talker.
Oh yeah, but they're going first with Mathmech, obviously setting up Heat Soul, Super Factorial. It's not a board that you expect to survive your opponent's turn, but it's enough to slow your opponent down to the point where you can kill them with Engine afterwards, which may be what this deck might be going for.
True. I don't see the way the deck kills you, but and I didn't see how Sky Striker ever killed someone, and that was a good deck. So
normal summon Ray, activate linkage is the win condition now. But yeah, that's this card. I don't know if this is the last support card we're going to see for Valmonica. In this set specifically, I imagine we'll see some more in a future set. But I think the deck is starting to move in a good direction and could be something to actually consider at local tournaments.
It's also cool. Hard to judge these deck build packs these days because we all wrote off Pearly and Rescue Race, and now look at them after 2 more cards. So
yeah, literally. They'll give Valmonica Circular, and suddenly the deck will be busted. We'll talk about timed out due to an activity. We're going to talk about the Memento cards. Now, most of these have been announced for a little while, but we haven't talked about them on the podcast yet. But we did receive a new card in Memento Darkblade last week, I think. We didn't have time to talk about it in the last episode of the podcast. So what we're going to do is we're going to talk about the entirety of this archetype, because Slad hasn't read them yet, and that's kind of the idea of the series.
I'm also going to see if I can work out what all these monsters are based on, because I know this is the old thing. It's all the old vanillas becoming relevant.
Oh, it is. I didn't clock that at all. We're going to go in ascending order of level. There's a lot of text on these cards, so please excuse me if my voice decides to give up halfway through. But we'll start with Memento Goblin. This is a level 1 Dark Fiend monster with 400 attack and 400 defense. During the main phase, if you control Undercorpse Dragon Mementorial Tektrika, quick effect, you can discard this card. This turn, your Memento monsters cannot be targeted by your opponent's card effects. During your main phase, you can destroy one Memento monster you control, and if you do, send up to 2 Memento cards with different names from your deck to the graveyard, except for another copy of itself, and you can only use each effect of Goblin once per turn. So what do you think about that?
Have you read Misk?
Yes.
Yeah, we love Misk effects. They're good. This one is not quite as broken as Misk. It's not an extender. I mean, it might be an extender. I don't really know what these destroy 1, send 2. I don't know what that does for you yet, but it's Misk with a grave. No, it's not a grave effect, is it? No.
No, it's an effect on the
field. So
field.
it's definitely worse than Misk, but maybe that effect's good. Maybe a hand searchable. I imagine this is searchable. Maybe a searchable protection is good. This guy is this the guy from Fake Trap? I think it's the guy from Fake Trap.
It might be. Let's have a look.
Um,
Yeah, pretty sure that's him.
he's gained a horn, so I don't know, but
He's gained a horn, he's lost his hair, but then again, it has been about 20 years since this card came out.
well, I think
Male pattern balding is an issue for somebody his age.
well, maybe that's the guy from Fake Trap. That's the one. I know some of them for sure coming up, but
It could also be an alien card, maybe?
no, there's no alien cards from that old. These are all like 2003 vanillas.
Is Shock Trooper not like a really old alien
That
card?
came out with the rest of the aliens.
Oh, fair. Okay. I have no idea. I think it probably makes sense to talk about the monster that is mentioned on this card now, so we understand what this card does, because he's mentioned on a
We're
few
going
of
to
them.
make this guy unaffected.
Again, this is...
That's what I know.
this is Undercorpse Dragon, Mementorial Tektrika. I really hope they make this easier to say. This is a level 11. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Yep. A level 11 Earth Worm with 5,000 attack and 5,000 defense.
That's a lot.
Cannot be normal summoned or set. Must be special summoned from your hand or graveyard by shuffling 5 other Memento monsters with different names from your hand and or graveyard into the deck and or extra deck. While you control no other monsters, this card can attack each of your opponent's monsters once each. Once per turn, if your opponent activates an effect, you can special summon 1 Memento monster from your hand or graveyard. So, thoughts on this?
That is the biggest boss in the biggest boss land that we've had in a while.
Yeah, he's
Shuffle
huge.
everything back, kill everything, and then reborn something. Although you've got nothing left to reborn because you've shuffled it back, presumably. It's
Assuming you only had 5.
It interestingly says and or extra deck, and I don't see any extra deck cards.
Yeah, there isn't an extra deck card yet, to my knowledge. I couldn't find one anyway, unless it's like an old Memento card, but I don't think so.
Could be future proofing.
Yeah,
just like
probably.
Clauseless will one day get a Necros trap.
Maybe.
But I mean, this is a big bungus who beats over all your opponent's little bunguluses, and is a reborn. No inbuilt protection, so Goblin does seem useful. You really hope this kills, to be honest. Like, you summon this and it needs to kill.
It's kind of crazy this card doesn't have any inbuilt protection, like none at all.
Yeah.
Like,
but you need to drop this on a large board of small idiots and just swing and hope it kills.
Yeah, that's probably going to be the game plan, but this card is mentioned on a lot of these cards, so that's why we read it first. We'll go back to the lower level monsters here. This is Memento Mace.
I know this one.
It is a...
It's Key Mace.
I'll go. What?
Key Mace. That's the name of the card. It's space. Yeah, that's it.
Or is it Key Mace?
No, it's level. It's level 1, so it's Key Mace.
Fair. Okay. But this card is a level 1 spellcaster, 400 attack, 300 defense. During your opponent's main phase, if you control the guy I can't pronounce,
wait, that's a different
you
name.
Discard this card. Is it? Oh, it's probably like a localization thing. Yeah, it definitely means this guy. I'm going to call it Never Skull Dragon for the remainder of this video, because that's easier to say. If you control Never Skull Dragon, quick effect, you can discard this card, then target one face-up monster your opponent controls, take control of it until the end phase. During your main phase, you can destroy one Memento monster you control, and if you do, add one Memento card from your deck to your hand, except for another copy of Mace.
Oh, I now understand Goblin and why it's good, having thought about this. Because it destroys itself and sends 2 others, that's like half of the battle. And this searches that, so that's 4 out of 5. So we need a way to get 1 more engrave. This card's really good, by the way. Like, this card's nuts.
This card's ridiculous. This card's mental.
It's like Widow Anchor, but it doesn't negate effects, so it's like... If you can... I don't know how you steal a negate, because they obviously just, like... They just negate it. But then it forces a negate. So either forces a negate, or you get a bloke, and it's a quick effect. And then it... And then
This is just Snatch Steal from
and then
hand.
on your turn, normal summon it, pop it, search a bloke. Search any card, not just a bloke. Great, good card. We love...
Yeah, very, very good
And-
card. This reminds me of Ricka Princess, but it's
that's a card I've read. We can also 1-for-1 for this.
We can also 1-for-1 for Goblin. They're both level 1s, and that obviously puts monsters in graveyard, which I think is definitely something you should note.
This card looks good.
Yeah, this card's crazy.
Yeah, I'm glad it does, because the boss monster did not fill me with confidence for this archetype.
No. But we have protection, and we have a Snatch Deal available on these cards, which is kind of cool. We have a level 3 monster. Would you like to say which normal monster this is?
It's not Dark Witch. That is... Oh, she's in Rasher for Destruction. I've used her in Rasher for Destruction. I don't... Dark...
Is it the Sand
It's not...
one?
Oh, is it Sand? It's not Dark Witch, because Dark Witch is a level 5. It's not Sand.
What's the Sand one?
No,
not Mystical Stand.
Yeah, I don't know this one. I can picture the original archetype artwork, but
It kind of looks like Mystical Sand. Like, you got the red dress, you've got the...
But so far the stats and levels are matching. That's what I'm thinking, because I know Dark Blade is a 4. You hovered it earlier.
Well, if that's the case, Spellcaster, Dark.
It might not be
3.
dark, because I think they're all
fair
dark.
point.
It's 800, 1,000. And
It is
that's a
Fairy
card
Witch.
that's literally never come out in the TCG.
That's fair. Like, this artwork.
Because a lot of these
seems
are like
it's got
McDonald's
stolen
promos.
from somewhere.
But this one just never came out. So
Why have they
watch out in your next OTS pack.
That's a fair point. Maybe we are getting these normal monsters. It's all that they don't interact with the normal monsters.
No, they don't do that, but it's cool. It's a memento of the old game.
Okay. True. Anyway, Memento Endwitch is a level 3 dark spellcaster with 800 attack and 1000 defense, as we just mentioned. And if this card is normal or special summons, you can add one Memento monster from your deck to your hand, except for another copy of itself. She has a second effect where you can target one level 2 or lower Memento monster in your graveyard, destroy one Memento monster you control, and if you do, special summon that target.
Good card. Normal this. Search one of the level 1s. Don't pitch the level 1 because you can't, because you haven't got the bloke. Wait, do I have to have the guy to pitch the goblin? Oh, yeah, I do.
Yes, you have to control.
Okay.
Never
Well,
Dragon.
the normal this, get someone, can add the level 1s, somehow get the level 1s engraved, pop itself, reborn them, use the cracked effect.
Yeah, that seems like the general idea of this
Not
card.
sure how we discard a card.
I think the search target will become pretty obvious in a moment once we've finished reading. But this card seems good to me. It adds, it reborns.
I can never say no to a Stratos.
It's an effect on summon as well. So you special summon this and you add a Memento card, which means if you leave this in graveyards and your opponent activates an effect, you can summon back the Witch, and then you get to add one of these level 1s to your
That's
hand.
true, that is nice. That's actually really good.
Which is quite strong. I think that's going to be the win condition. Summon this with this engrave and just take the Snatch Steal. I think we both know what normal monster this card is.
Celtic
it's
Guardian.
Memento Darkblade. Yeah, it does look like Celtic Guardian, doesn't it? No, it's Darkblade. This is a level 4 Dark Warrior monster. If this card is normal or special summoned, you can discard one Memento card, then target one spell trap your opponent controls, destroy it. The second effect is during your main phase, you can destroy one Memento monster you control, and if you do, special summon one level 3 or lower Memento monster from your deck. So thoughts on this?
Well, I thought it was like meant to be like a Tenki or a field spell interruption, but then I realised it's like Monarchs. No. Yeah, Monarchs, is that what I'm thinking? No, like the BA that negates into Monarchs, and doesn't work like that. So, because you have to...
Oh, Alec.
Yeah, sending Alec off Beatrice to negate the Edia doesn't work. Shout out 2016 format. But this is like that. If your opponent activates the spell and then you chain the guy to summon, you're going to not stop this on activation effect. So that's kind of annoying.
Yeah, no, that's
out
totally fair.
Out floodgates. Searchable out to Devil Dark. Tikaboo or something.
Not Tikaboo. We can play under Tikaboo, I think, because everything's different.
Whatever the third one's called.
Rivalry.
Yeah, that one.
Yeah.
Out's Rivalry. It's just going to be a recurring effect, destroy and special. Oh no, special deck. Oh no, this is cool. This special is the last person, which searches.
Yeah. So this is essentially a lone fire because you can destroy itself.
Normally, there's out the floodgate, summon M Witch, search whatever I want, and then if I have a thing engrave, pop this special. Yeah, it's cool. It's good.
Yeah, it's not bad.
It's a beta.
Yeah, just added consistency into it. I mean, I can't remember the last time a beta was actually relevant in Yu-Gi-Oh, but
beats over 2-mat Appaloosa.
True, big true. We'll go on to the next card. This is Memento Seahorse. I mean, all of these names haven't been localized yet, and I've seen different names for all of them. This is the horse one, though. It is a Earth level 5 beast with 1350 attack and 1600 defense. Before we start, do you know what normal monster this is?
Yes, but I cannot pronounce its name. It's like Tatsu. It's a big horse bloke with his tongue out. And he was really good he was in your starter deck in Yu-Gi-Oh! Rush of Destruction.
That name seems to keep coming up.
That's because this is the only Game Boy Advanced Yu-Gi-Oh! Game I played. And it also contained all its cards. Yeah, that guy. It's a horsefish.
This is the first one I'm seeing this card.
Yeah, exactly. Because it's never made it to the TCG. So if you didn't play any of the Game Boy games from like 2002, you don't know it.
That's fair. I played some of them. I can't think of the names of them now, though.
The rest of Destruction was good, but my copy was broken and didn't save, so I had to complete it all in one sitting one day.
I remember playing one of them, and I couldn't beat the girl who has the teddy from like the second season of the first.
Yeah, that's the same game.
That's the same game. Okay, yeah, I couldn't beat her. She was like the third fight.
That's an optional fight, by the way.
That's an optional fight? Oh, young me was a moron.
Just walk left to the train station instead of walking down and right to her.
Oh, crazy. Interesting. Oh, well. We'll talk about Memento Seahorse now. If you control no face-up monsters, or all face-up monsters you control are Memento monsters, you can special summon this card from your hand. During your main phase, you can destroy one Memento monster you control, and if you do, send any number of Memento monsters with different names from your deck to the graveyard, whose total levels are equal to or less than the destroyed monster's original level.
Oh, total levels. I was like, oh, so cracked has one card. This, well, no, different names. I mean, finally, an extender.
Yes.
Wait. Comboing time. Seahorse plus either of Darkblade or the other one. Normal girl. There must be a line here. Normal girl search Seahorse. Special Seahorse. Seahorse effect. Pop itself. Send Darkblade and Key Mace. Witch pop herself. Summon Mace. Mace effect. Add a card. And then I'm at like 4. No, I'm at 5. No, I'm not. I'm at 4. I'm so close.
Oh, but you could send another witch. You can go send goblin, send mace, send witch, because Seahorse is level 5.
Oh yeah, that's true. But then I haven't got 5 different names. Do I need different names? Yeah.
Yes.
So that's why it's only.
But we do want to keep one of these in graveyard to actually be able to do anything
That's
with
true.
the dragon.
So I'm at 4 names plus a witch in grave, or for normal summon. It's all coming together.
It's all coming together. Yeah, yes, it is. But yeah, this card seems really good. The fact that it can send up to 3 monsters by popping itself really fills your graveyard, and this is probably going to be the choke point of the deck, I imagine.
Yeah, I'm ashing that every time.
Yeah, this is what you ash. I'm pretty sure.
But if they don't have ash, we're
going
balling.
crazy.
Normal summon witch is like full.
So we can search this off Shurek. Search this off Shurek. It's a
That's
beast.
true. You just need to have like a 500 banish cards.
Yeah, something like that. Our next card is Memento Horn Dragon. It is a level 8 dragon, dark, with 2850 attack and 2350 defense. Before we get into the text, which normal monster is
Let's
this?
try Horn Dragon.
That makes sense.
Those
Yeah.
stats absolutely give it away. Nothing.
Yes. Also Horn Dragon.
Yeah, but Trihorn Dragon is infamous for being a 2 tribute monster that is just worse blue eyes in like LOB format.
Yeah, literally. And it was the same rarity as well, once it was a secret.
Yeah.
Crazy. The text on this card, though, is if there are 3 or more Memento monsters in your graveyard with different names, you can special summon this card from your hand. You can only special summon Horn Dragon once per turn this way. If this card in the field is destroyed by card effect, you can target 3 face-up cards in the field, including a Memento card you control, destroy them. You can only use this effect of Horn Dragon once per turn.
Okay, so I can search this, and then I have like. When I do one of my destruction effects next turn, I also get an Icarus attack.
Yeah, that seems pretty logical as to what this card's supposed to do. It doesn't seem
fine.
great to me.
Like, I might play 1. Maybe. I'll think about it because it's a different name. That's pretty much it.
Also, it is a free special summon, I guess.
Yeah, I mean,
I guess if we do Horse, we're putting 3 in graveyard.
Oh, we could Horse pop Memento Horn Dragon and send everything.
Can we? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. There's no other 3s, so we're still sending the same amount.
Yeah.
We send like Darkblade, Witch, and Mace.
Yeah, this card's not very good, but I'm gonna have to play one of it because it's a Memento name that drops itself.
Yeah, literally. But that is probably what this card is.
Yeah, ignore the rest of it.
For cracking boards, probably looks quite good, to be honest.
I mean, it helps. Like it's not good. I wouldn't call this card good, but it helps.
Yeah, no, but it's super searchable. Like we've had multiple cards that search it at this point.
Yeah, that's nice. I'm imagining one of these spells is just Rota.
Possibly. Should we get into those? Do we know what this Never Skull Dragon, is that a monster?
It's not one I recognise unless it's like 5-head dragon. The stats are 5-head dragon.
Yeah, that makes sense. The 5-headed dragon's a level 12.
I don't think we have any level 11s with 5,000 attack. I really doubt it.
We could do a quick. It won't be a normal monster.
I think you'll find exactly this card. I mean, this is also a custom card, so you won't even find this one.
It's, typing is difficult with one hand. 11.
I really don't think there'll be one, yeah.
Yeah, no, there's not. So this is just a new card, I guess.
Yeah.
We'll go on to the spells now.
The field spell.
We'll start with the field spell. If your Memento monster battles, your opponent cannot activate spells or traps until the end of the damage step. During your end phase, you can target one Memento spell trap in your graveyard, set it. If a monster you control is destroyed by battle or card effect, you can target one of them, special summon one Memento monster with a lower level than the target from your hand or graveyard. You can only use each effect of the Undercorpse Center Mementorian once per turn.
Wait a second, I'm targeting the thing in grave? That's crazy. I don't know many cards that target in grave, like, in this manner. Like, they don't reborn, you know? As I said that sentence, it got stupider. I like, target in grave, we don't do that. And then I was like, why does DD throw a good card? Great. I love Ancient Gears. To be fair, the boss monster did need it. If it's going to swing 5 times, I'd quite like them not to be able to mirror force me.
Yeah, that's a fair point.
During your end phase, set a spell or trap. Then, if they're good, they're good. Maybe I can reset a Salamangreat Rage every turn.
Possibly.
And if something dies, I get to summon something else back, which is kind of only relevant for the level 3, which is the only on summon effect.
Well, no, because it's when they're destroyed by battle or card effect in general, and all of these cards pop themselves.
Oh, wait, this card's crazy.
Yeah, so if we go back to your combo building a little while ago, if we're starting with something like Horse and the Field Spell, you can activate the Field Spell, summon the Horse pop itself, send Witch, Mace, Goblin, Resolution, Field Spell, summon the Witch effect adds a Memento monster, probably the big guy, to your hand or something stupid like that. Then you can Witch pop to summon the Mace or the Goblin, whichever one of these had the good effects, and you get another search, and you're basically there with 5 in graveyard already. Because Goblin also
Field Spell Seahorse is full combo.
Yeah.
Great.
Which I don't know if that's good enough, like having a 2-card combo, but there's probably other 2-card combos that also do it as well.
But it's certainly cool.
Yeah, no, this card's really, really good, and a mandatory 4 of with terraforming, I think.
I'd play 8 if I could.
Yeah, maybe we're pulling out the Revolution Zingfrons and the Age of Fairy Dragons.
Oh, yes. Perfect.
Just hear me out. Activate Meltdown, search Alistair, normal Alistair, search... Put 2 negates on board and then do the Memento stuff.
Oh, then it might actually be able to kill your opponent.
Yeah, possibly. Our next card.
I love the name of this card.
Yes, Memento Bone Party, a quick play spell card, which has the Key Mace and the Goblin on the front. You can destroy 1 Memento monster in your hand or your face-up field, and if you do, take 1 Memento monster with a different name from your deck, neither add it to your hand or special summon it in defense position. During your main phase, you can banish this card from your graveyard, then target 1 Memento monster you control. This turn, if it attacks a monster in defense position, inflict piercing battle damage to your opponents. You can only use each effect of Memento Bone Party once per turn.
Based or win condition.
Yes. Give big 5-guy piercing.
Yeah, we've done it. We've made Pentastag UCT. Destroy 1 Memento in your hand. I mean, it's definitely good.
Yeah, this is probably a 3 of, right?
Yeah. Pop.
Yeah, the fact that they can pop in hand as well.
Yeah. And this plus Field Spell is also combo.
Yeah, assuming you have a Memento monster as well.
This it's like a 2.5 card. Yeah, this card good. This card is good. I want 8 of these as well.
We'll play 8 Field Spell, 8 of the quick play, and I 1 each of the monsters.
Yeah, they are. Let's be real. I'm not here for the one. No, I'll play 3 Witch. She's good.
Yeah, that's fair. We're also playing 3 of these.
Probably 2 of the level 1s.
Yeah,
because I want them in my hand as well.
Yeah, we are shuffling them back, to be fair.
That is true.
With the big dragon. So there's an argument to the number of these monsters you're playing. But it's probably 3 Witch, 3 Seahorse, 3 Darkblade, 2 Mace, 1 Goblin, 1 Horned Dragon, 1 Neverskull.
I just realised it's also, as all good decks these days have, Advent of Adventure.
Yes, it is.
Advent really set a precedent.
Yeah, literally. Yeah, that's something I hadn't considered with this card. Yeah, it is.
Advent.
Ooh, Imperm. Nah.
It's actually probably the one that's most like Advent because it's just straight up plussing.
Yes, it is.
This is the most Advent card I've seen since Advent.
I mean, Advent adds the hand. This can special summon from the deck.
Yeah, but if Advent special summoned, it would actually make the deck unplayable.
That's a fair point, yeah. I guess that is true. But yeah, this card's a free of. I don't think there's any argument in that.
Yeah.
This is Memento Bone Back, which is also a hook play spell with our horsey boy on the front here. If a Memento monster leaves the field, due to your opponent, special summon 1 Neverskull Dragon from your hand or deck, ignoring its summoning conditions. If a Memento monster leaves your graveyard by your opponent, while this card is in your graveyard, you can banish this card from your graveyard, special summon any number of Memento monsters with different names from your hand and or deck. You can only use each effect of Bone Back once per turn. So thoughts on this?
This is either the most cracked card of all time, because one of their traps says destroy a thing and make it count as your opponent doing it, or useless.
Yeah, it is a card which does have a condition based on your opponent doing something. I think this first effect is pretty much always going to be something that they're going to have to consider, because a monster leaves the field due to your opponent. This triggers on absolutely everything. Battle, shuffling back, destruction.
This might be one of the first cards designed with Underworld Goddess in mind.
Yes, it's due to your opponent, not card effect either. That's true. So whatever you're doing, we can just bring out the big dragon.
Who then kills all your shit.
For free. Yeah, I don't like that it only summons from hand or deck. This means you're probably going to have to play 2 of this card. Whereas if you were just playing 1, you could... If this could summon from graveyard, you could probably just play 1.
But if I play 2, then I can infinitely loop them.
True. And this guy does summon himself from graveyard as well. It's not just hand. He can by shuffling other monsters back.
Yeah.
So
okay.
You can always come back. Yeah, this second effect though, if a Memento monster leaves your graveyard by your opponent while this card is in your graveyard, banish this card and soul charge from deck.
I mean, that's really good. I do like Pendulum Summon from deck, but I'm just not going to play DD Crow against this deck.
Yes, but Bestials are certainly a thing. And how Konami's decided to play the deck around Bestials is say, right, if they do it, they lose. So they're just not going to do it.
Doesn't fill me with hope for the Magnum at ban we all deserve.
Yeah, no, 100%. But really funny if you're playing this deck and your opponent doesn't read this card though. It's like, oh yeah, I'm gonna Magnum at your Goblin. You're like, oh no.
Anyway,
effect. Summon Goblin, Mace, Witch, Seahorse, and bloody Darkblade from deck.
Yeah. I mean, it's gonna be really funny when it's pulled off at locals. But I don't see it being a played card. Or maybe exactly one in a very bestial heavy format or something.
Well, this card is very searchable.
Yeah, but you've got to get it in. It's also very telegraphed because it's got to be engraved to do the good effect.
Yeah. Is it you can technically use each effect.
Yeah.
First turn.
So I guess I could chain it to the DD Crow. Oh no, I can't.
Chain it to Magnum.
I can't though because they're not leaving. I have to do it after battle or something, right? They have to torrential me and then Magnum it on resolution for that to work.
Yeah, I suppose so.
So
I don't know. I think this card has some uses. It's probably a 1-of, maybe a 2-of if you're feeling spicy, but it's probably just a 1-of that you.
I don't think this card's going in my deck.
Well, we have to remember that the field spell does set our spells and traps from the graveyard.
Oh, great. I was hoping the traps are playable. That was the hope with that effect.
Well, I can't remember what the traps do, to be honest. We'll go on to them now. So we have Memento Fracture Dance with the Trihorn Dragon on the front. If you control a Memento monster, you can target one card in the field, destroy it. Then, if you control the Neverskull Dragon, you can destroy 1 card on the field. During attack declaration involving your Memento monster and your opponent's monster, you can banish this card from the graveyard. All monsters your opponent currently controls lose 1000 attack until the end of the turn. You only use each effect once per turn.
This card is good. It's like black.
This is the Salamangreat Great Rage you were asking for.
It's Salamangreat Rage, and it doesn't target the second card.
Yes, which is very important for a card
So
like
this
this.
card-
It does destroy, however.
Yeah, but then I can I can also destroy my own cards and then get a new thing from my deck, and also pop your thing afterwards.
That is true, but it's not quite Time Pendulum Graph. It's kind of what I was getting at. It's
No,
close.
it's not Time Pendulum Graph, but it is a very good card that I will be setting off of my field spell every turn.
Yes, no, 100%. I think that is 100% fair.
Yeah,
Just
good
a good card in
Searching.
general. Graveyard effect's pretty decent as well. When your opponent makes their access code with 5,300 attack to beat over your Neverskull Dragon, and you banish this from the graveyard to make them.
That's
4K.
really funny, actually, because you can also goblin it, so they have to attack it. Because they can't. Access code. Access code
target.
targets, right? Right.
No, access code
Right.
No, but access code would trigger our bone back, which just gets another one out of the deck.
Absolutely based. Yeah, and then they pop.
It's all coming
And then
together.
they just banish the fire one.
Yeah. Yeah, this card's good.
Week 4
I
will
like
be
it.
calling for access code bans in this podcast.
No, we don't ban access code. We ban update jammer. That's the ban we do.
You can keep access code if we ban every other Cyburst monster.
Access code doesn't need Cyburst monsters.
Yeah, but good luck making it without Splash Mage.
I guess so. We'll go on to the last card of Memento here, and that is Cranium Burst. This is a continuous trap.
Oh.
While you control a Memento monster, your opponent's monsters that can attack must attack your your monster with the highest attack. When a monster your opponent controls activates its effect, you can target one of your Neverskull Dragon you control. It loses 1,000 attack and defense, and if you do, negate that activated effect. You can only use each effect once per turn.
Finally, an interruption. This card's really funny. That's kind of it. It's just really funny. Like,
Yeah. It's weird.
I love
isn't
the idea of end of main phase 1 flipping this card. But that's just
it? Why are we doing end of main?
because then they have to go to battle phase and attack me.
Well, surely you flip this up in battle phase, right? Start battle phase?
Yeah, probably. Yeah. Well, no, but they might be trying to skip battle phase, right? They'll be like, "Oh, end phase," and I go, "No, no, no,
right.
no, end of main phase, my friend. Battle phase."
Nah, hear me out, right? Pajama Trio. We give them the tokens.
But then they have to put
Cranium
them in attack. So we need final attack orders, Cranium Burst, and the big monster.
Yeah, that's an OTK on your opponent's turn.
I mean, it's funny.
It's something.
It's something. This deck looks
Yeah.
good, fun, playable, not broken.
It doesn't seem like a meta-defining deck, but it does seem like a pretty okay locals
I was
to
about to say,
regionals
I'm
list.
enjoying our locals deck of the week section.
Yeah, no, literally, we haven't had like a tier 1 deck announced in a long
Are we ever going to have a meta?
I guess Centaurians.
The thing is, until Cafeteria is banned, how cracked will a deck have to be for me to go, yeah, you can take this to YCS?
Yeah, pretty much. I mean, a Rise Heart versus Seahorse challenge impossible.
A Rise Heart versus literally anything.
Yeah, literally.
Rise.
But if you were going to give this deck a rating out of 10, what would you give it?
Design 8. I like it. It looks cool. It's kind of edgy, but like I like the fact it's all the odd monsters. Game plan 5. The game plan is summon a big guy and hope. So I like
That's
it.
fair.
It doesn't interest me to play it, but I like the design.
I think that's fair. I doubt I'll be playing this deck either. But it probably has potential, and it's probably be another Rescue Ace, but they'll release
But we've already got the Advent.
Memento, painful choice. and it just sends 5.
Memento. That dead grass looks greener.
That's the one. That's what we need.
Yeah.
We'll go on to our next topic now, though, and that is the Toronto WCQ Regional, won by Ryan Yu. This was played on the 19th, so on Saturday?
Yeah,
Saturday. And we have 4 lists we can talk about here. The top 8 from what we can see of the list played were Labyrinth, Unchained, Salamangreat, and Telements. So we have 2 decks here that we have talked about on the podcast previously, so I think it'd be interesting to see whether your thoughts about the cards were correct. We'll start with the winner, with Ryan Yu's Labyrinth list.
I guess we'll end on the fun one. I was going to go reverse order, but I think ending on Telement is most fun.
Okay, that works for me. For audio listeners, if you have us tapped out for some reason, I'll quickly read through the list. We're playing 1 Silver Castle, 3 copies of Ariana, 3 copies of Chandelier, 3 copies of Stovey, 3 copies of Ku Klok, 2 copies of Lady, 3 copies of Ash Blossom, 1 Gamma, 1 Driver, 3 Nibiru, 1 Labyrinth, 1 Corp of the Grave, 1 Prosp, 3 Extravagance, 1 Terrors of the Overroot, 3 Big Welcome, 2 Welcome, 3 Imperm, 1 IDP, and 1 Dimensional Barrier. What do you think of that main deck?
So I'm still kind of not used to the IKEA build, so I don't know how standard this is, but I know that Ku Klok is a good card, so I imagine that bit's at least standard. The Gamma, playing Gamma is funny to me. Still committing to Gamma is hilarious, actually. But I get it in this deck specifically, actually, because you do all your stuff. Imagine you do all your combos and then they just ash the Big Welcome. It'd be really sad, wouldn't it?
Yeah, it's also for the furniture as well.
That's what I mean, like, you do all the furniture, right? You play through all the furniture. You ditch, 8 cards from your hand to set a Big Welcome, and they go, oh, yeah, I actually had ash the whole time.
Well, I'm only ever ashing Big Welcome in this deck. There's not a single other target in this. Maybe Extravagance, but so it's always Big Welcome.
So the deck list looks good. The Gamma.
Yeah, it's a lot of hand traps.
7?
10.
Which one?
3
the Imperm. I missed
nib,
the Imperm.
3 ash, 1 Gamma.
It's a trap in a trap deck, so I assumed it was a trap. Yeah.
Yeah, it's a lot. I don't think 3 Ku Klok is normal or regular. I thought this card was a one-off, I have to admit.
Isn't Ku Klok the good one that lets you do things?
Yeah, but it's so ridiculously searchable.
I guess that's true. But, you want to see it, right?
Yeah, I suppose so.
I don't know, I'm the wrong person to ask about the IKEA build of this deck. The last time I played against it, it was when it was Traps and Vibe. Compulse was still a card in this deck.
We have 4 lab players at my locals, and 2 of them on Floodgate, 2 of them on IKEA. I can never know who's who, which is always fun.
Yeah, I played against it when it was normal trap control, which was fun, but I remember testing against it the night before YCS London and thinking it was the freest matchup possible, whereas I doubt it is with the furniture matchup.
Yeah, no, definitely not. It's not free in the slightest. This build is very good for not just losing to Evenly and Harpy's Feather Duster, because you just have so much other sort of stuff going on. True. Which is cool. We'll go into the extra deck. We're playing 3 Chaos Angel, 1 Omega, 2 Ling, 1 Muckraker, 1 Dark, 1 Phoenix, 1 Unicorn, 2 White Woman, 2 Dingirsu, and 1 Zeus. I imagine most of these lineups are for the Extravagance. But yeah, looks pretty standard to me.
Makes sense. Chaos Angel's a good card.
Chaos Angel's a very good card, and ridiculously easy to make in this list. For the side deck, we're playing 1 Madura, 1 Keldo, 1 Bell, 2 Mourner, 3 Droll, 2 XYZ Encore, 3 Crossout Designator, 1 Full Force, and 1 Eradicator Epidemic Virus. So thoughts on this side deck?
I do not understand this in the slightest. So,
which bits are we having issues with?
Well, I get the viruses. They make sense. Crossout makes sense for, I guess, the opponent hand traps.
Guess Ash.
Yeah.
Ash and the Bell.
I don't know why we're playing XE Encore.
Partly.
Oh, that makes sense. Yeah. Droll makes sense. The hand trap lineup is weird, but sure, go off. Why are the shufflers in here?
I think the shufflers are here mostly for Terralabant. The idea being you can go like Chandelier, Stovey, discard Medora or Keldo, get your set, and you also have shufflers for your opponent's turn. It's probably good against other decks as well. Like it's probably pretty decent against something like Mathmech.
Like,
I'm not sure about like proper meta decks. It's probably pretty good against Pearly. Like you shuffle back their quick play spells and they can't rank up.
yeah, I guess so. If like someone in the group chat was like, "I'm gonna put the shufflers in," I'd call them an idiot. Because I'm like, you have to. Yeah.
But this is Ryan Yu though. This is like an
Ryan
actual
Yu
player.
just won a American regionals with it, so I just like you have to hard draw them, and then ditch them off the hard drawn furniture.
I suppose maybe I don't see any other way of getting them into graveyards because they're fairies.
Yeah. So unless I'm really missing something, you're just playing these to hard draw.
Yeah, I suppose so. I can't remember what they are.
Which is why I'm
this discard.
They don't do anything relevant. So I'm kind of wondering why they aren't just like extra bells, or these two plus the bell aren't DD Crow if it's about Tearlament.
Well, I guess it's just like extra.
I guess it is just it's better Crow and Bell. I guess. If
should we do some maths? Let's do some maths.
No.
Yu-Gi-Oh!.Party. So we've got 40 cards in deck, we've got a 5-card hand, and we've got 2 shufflers.
Yeah.
I can spell shufflers. Close enough. We've got 2 of those, and we want at least 1.
But I need to see it with furniture.
Furniture.
Which is 9. That's why Ku Klux is maxed out in this. No, it's 9, right? Or do they not all discard?
Ku Klux only discards itself.
Okay.
Max 4, I guess. 12%.
Yeah, so 1 in 8 games I side these in, I actually get to use them. Or every time I. And what are the odds of just? What are the odds of just?
What are the odds
of just drawing a bell?
A bell in
40.
We have 3. We want at least 1. 33%.
So, like, you're taking a 20% consistency hit for sometimes slightly better than Bell.
Yes.
Americans are weird, man.
Well, I guess Bell can be blocked. Like, go like Chainlink 1, Havness, Chainlink 2, Zodiac to search, or something along those
Well, I
sort
guess
of
so,
lines.
but in which case it can be DD Crow. It does the same job.
True. Very true.
Or a Bestial. Why aren't we playing Bestials?
Again, I don't know. Yeah, I don't know. This seems weird. There's probably a reason for it that we don't know, that Billy's going to shout at us in the group chat as soon as this episode goes live. But yeah, this was the list that won. It looks pretty good. The side deck looks odd, but he won the event.
Clearly does the job.
Yeah, we're going to the second list now, and it's Unchained. And my ad block's doing really well here, obviously. You can see all these ads still. Yeah, Unchained. We talked about these in the first episode, I want to say, of the podcast.
I think so.
And this is the list that came second. It's playing, for you audio listeners, 3 copies of Aurora, 3 copies of Verizon, 3 copies of Shavara, 1 copy of Sayama, 2 copies of Sorama, 2 copies of Abdominal, 1 copy of Disaster, 3 Ash, 3 Droll, 3 I can't pronounce this. Abominations Prison, 3 copies of Prosp, 3 Book of Boon, 2 Triple Tactics Talents, 3 Escape, 3 I don't know what this card's called, Chamber of the Unchained, and 2 Infinite Impermanence. So can you remember what the Unchained cards do?
I remember they gave you access to the DDD rank 6, which was cool. And they were just good. I remember them being good. I remember that when stuff dies, they come, like the rest of Unchained. But one was an extender that was really good. The red one, I imagine, based on the list.
Yeah, the red one. Yeah, the red one pops a Fiend or a set spell and trap to special summon itself from the hand, and when it goes to the graveyard, it sets a spell or trap from your deck, one of the Unchained ones. yeah, this looks pretty standard for an Unchained list. We will have an Unchained profile up Monday, so today, if I remember to upload it after finishing this video.
So it should already be up.
Yeah, it should already be up while the time you're watching this, but also I'm not the greatest at that, so maybe. If not, the day after. And they'll go into more detail about how Unchained works, I'm sure. But this is the list that came second. It's really cool to see a rogue deck like this do well at a regional. Yeah, I'll go over the extra deck quickly. It's one DDD Stone King Darius, one High King Caesar, one copy of Deus Ex Machina, 2 copies of Yama, 3 copies of Solar Rage, 2 copies of Anguish, 1 copy of Unchained Abomination, 1 Phoenix, 1 Unicorn, 1 Access Code Talker, and 1 White Woman. This looks pretty standard, to be honest.
It does. The Machinex is really interesting, actually, because the only way it's ever live is if you haven't used your Wave King Caesar. So it's for matchups that, like, game 3, you decide that you don't want the special summon engage, you want the monster steal.
Yeah. You can also use the Stone King Darius for this, I'm pretty sure. Right?
Yeah, you can. You can use any D&D monster, but
yeah.
Yeah, but
odd that we're not playing Zeus.
But if you do, it would only have. It would still have 4 materials. No, you only ever get 3 materials. You only get. Oh, then you get the one for stealing, so you get 2 uses. Yeah. Yeah, no Zeus is interesting. No space, I guess.
Maybe. I mean, you do get locked into darks pretty quickly. Maybe that's the reason.
That's also true.
But we are playing White Woman, so maybe that's not the reason.
And Phoenix and Unicorn.
Phoenix and Unicorn are both darks. Unicorn's dark, Phoenix is
Yeah, there's
fire.
one of each.
Yeah. But Unicorn you can go into off the Soul of Rage, which is the quick link one. So that's why this is here.
Makes sense.
I don't know. It looks good. The side deck looks like a side deck I'd build, to be perfectly honest. Very different from Brian Yu's philosophy. We've got 3 copies of Radiant, 3 copies of Bell, 1 HFD, 2 MST, 3 evenly matched, and 3 dimensional barrier.
It's been a long time since I've seen MST over Cosmic, but it only makes sense in this deck.
Yeah, because it obviously triggers your traps and all that sort of stuff. So that makes sense.
And you won't.
I'm sure they'd love to be on Heavy Storm.
And you won't lose the time.
True. Yeah, that is also true. But yeah, that's Unchained. There should be a profile up by the time you're listening to this. Yeah, learn more there. The next deck is Salamangreat. We had a Salamangreat list that won a regional that me and Dev talked about last week. And this honestly looks quite similar. So for the audio listeners, there is 1 Gazelle, 1 Weasel, 3 Fire, 2 Foxy, 3 Spinny, 1 Jet Jaguar, 1 Falco, 2 Flame Buffalo, 3 copies of Ash Blossom Joyspring, 3 copies of Drone Lockbird, 1 copy of Sanctuary, 3 copies of Circle, 3 copies of Will, 3 copies of Silent Mining, 1 Triple Tactics Talent, 3 Book of Moon, 3 Infinite Impermanence, 2 Raw, and 1 Rage. Yeah, I remember when we talked about the salad cards, you didn't think there was enough there to compete. What do you think now?
I was wrong on 2 counts. Clearly it can compete. That card's not a one-off.
Yeah. No, it's not a one-off. This is a free of the best card in the deck.
Yeah, it is. I mean, I still kind of stand by it because we have to look at the extra deck for this, but that is all fires.
Mostly, yeah.
We've cut the Dweller lines, we've cut the Baguska lines, we've had to do something different.
Yeah, I'll quickly go over the extra deck. It's 2 copies of Raging Phoenix, 3 copies of Balinx, 3 copies of Sunlight Wolf, 1 Heat Leo, 1 Link Decoder, 1 Splash Mage, 1 Update Jammer, 1 Decode Talker Heat Soul, 1 Access Code Talker, and 1 Mirage Stalio. So, if you remember, our Phoenix allows us to add a Salamangreat card, so all this deck is doing is just adding Rage and popping 4, and just playing a bunch of non-engine cards.
And I imagine we're setting Raw. We're sending Raw of Gazelle these days so that we can have Rage Raw, pop for 4, and then Access Code kill you.
Yes,
pretty much. Everything wrong with Sidebus.
Yeah, probably. Just a bunch of non-engine and a bunch of easy setups and one card.
That's exactly
combos.
what you were saying about Math Mech earlier. Set up just enough that you don't die, and then kill them next turn.
Yes,
Although
exactly.
notably no transcode, which makes things a bit more difficult, but not really.
Yeah, no, not really. Right. One thing I don't understand about this list and the list that won the other regional is 2 Raging Phoenix.
Mm-hmm.
Why are we not playing 3?
Because you just need to relink it and then kill them next turn. There's no space for a third, and you're not getting to a point where you're summoning a third.
You are, though, because if your Raging Phoenix survives your opponent's turn, which, considering that it special summons itself back if it's destroyed, and you have Rage and Roar to protect it with hand traps, start of your turn, you can relink it again, because your Sanctuary's probably still on board, and you get to search for any card in your deck.
I mean...
That feels good enough. Like, being able to search for Will, right there is the access code OTK.
I mean, you're right, but now quickly tell me what cards you're cutting in the extra deck.
Link Decoder.
Nah, that card's good.
That card is good, but we're fire locked. So, like, we're never summoning this turn 1.
But this is sort of our... It's weird. If I was cutting that, I'd put in the transcode.
Possibly. I just think the Phoenix should be a free
Because Link, whatever that card's called, is clearly there to climb into access code and give you an extra attribute. But that's exactly what transcode does.
I suppose, but like if you're using Link Decoder to get into this access code talker, that means you're going into the Heat Soul with the decode talker the decoder to be able to bring it back. I don't think Heat Leo has the right stats. Oh, it does. You can go into Heat Leo requires fires, though, right? Yeah, 2 fire effect monsters. So we're going decoder into Heat Soul to bring back to make access code talker. But if we're doing that, we're using our 1 access code talker and not using the update jammer. So we need even more stuff anyway to kill our opponent. Whereas just relink into Phoenix, activate Will, summon back 3 monsters is enough to do the update jammer splash mode OTK.
That's true.
There's probably a reason, but I don't understand what it is.
It's a Link one, and we like Link ones. What if I run out of Baylinks?
We're playing 3 of them! We've got 3 Baylinks!
Maybe we cut a Baylinks for transcode. I don't think we need 3 of the big guy.
We can shuffle guys back.
Exactly, we can shuffle back the other guy. We can Jaguar back the Link 4 that we have in Grave, and then relink. So we don't need 3.
Yeah, I suppose. No, that is fair. You can do that. I hadn't really considered doing that because I'm always just putting back my Baylinkses.
But you play 3 of that.
Yeah.
Yeah, so you don't need to. So you can.
But you normally go through 2 when you're like opening hand.
But yeah, we can just relink anyway. So my only change would be decoder to transcode.
Possibly.
Or you know what? We don't need 3 Sunlight Wolf. It's overrated.
We're never relinking it anyway. We're relinking the big guy.
Exactly. It's not relevant.
Yeah, maybe that's the one. I do want to play this deck. I do have to admit.
It's a
Cyber Sandy. Yeah. And this looks cheap as fuck.
I imagine all the new cards have gone through. Like Salamander FR has got to be expensive now. No, 10 euros.
10 euros on card market.
It's actually surprising because this set is awful. So I'd probably.
Yeah, I mean the set has only just come out recently.
I'd probably be getting these before the set goes out of print.
Yeah, probably. That is something I'm considering. We haven't got over the side decks. We'll quickly do that. It's 2 copies of Ghost Spell, 2 copies of Kurakara, 2 copies of Nibiru, 1 copy of Callbite, 3 copies of Evenly, 3 copies of Dim Barrier, and 2 Grave of the Super Ancient Organism. Any thoughts here?
No, it's really boring. 6 hand traps, 3 board breakers, 3 I win cards, and then I don't know, called by and Grave of Super Ancient Organism for some reason.
Yeah, this just eats Branded alive, I guess.
Yeah. So.
I feel like I would just main deck the Call by the Grave and take out the Triple Tactics talent because they both essentially do the same thing, except this does it more consistently.
Yeah, and then I probably just take out the talents and then put in the 3rd Grave.
Yeah, probably. I'd play a 3rd Bell, probably.
Yeah, but it's probably
because it also hits.
Probably siding patterns with 6 hand traps for a certain reason.
Yeah, probably. But yeah, this list looks good. I like it.
Yeah.
And yeah, we'll go on to our last deck. This is Kashtira Ishizu Tournament.
What year is this?
And 2023, I think. We're going to start off with 7 cards limited to 1. 1 Kelbeck, 1 Agido, 1 Keldo, 1 Medora, 1 Sharon, 1 Havnus, 1 Merly. 3 Tournaments Kashtira, 2 Tournament Rhinoheart, 3 Kashtira Fenrir, 3 copies of Diviner, 3 copies of King of the Swamp, 3 copies of Radiant, 2 copies of Triple Tactics Talent, 1 copy of Terraforming, 3 copies of Pressure Planet Perilino, 1 copy of Polarization, 1 Foolish Burial, 1 Book of Moon, 3 Tournament Scream, 1 Meta Noise, 2 Zodiac, and 1 Triva Karma. So, thoughts on this just after the general looking at it?
What on earth is that last card?
Triva Karma?
Yeah, never read that.
Oh, this card's correct. You can banish this card from your graveyard, add a spell trap that mentions Visa Starfast from your deck to your hand.
That's that one, okay.
So it's all of the spells and traps in this deck, which are archetype.
Great, okay, that makes sense.
Yeah.
I mean, I guess this is the closest thing you can have to a standard T-element deck these days.
Yeah, I mean, there's a couple of things I'm a bit confused about. So, for one, we're not playing Foolish Burial Goods, which a lot of lists are playing for this Triva Karma.
Okay.
I guess they're just saying, I'm going to mill them, it's fine.
You probably are.
Yeah, probably are. There's also playing Radiant. Why?
There'll be a specific reason.
Isn't Gamma Seal just better, though?
We don't need an Aqua anymore. That doesn't matter.
You need Aquas for Kaleido Heart.
No, that is true.
And for Kaleido Heart.
It's level 7, but we're only playing...
It's a level 7, and we are playing Kashtira
We're only
Arise
playing
Heart.
Arise Heart, and all the other level 7s in the deck just become Arise Heart. Oh wait, that's not true, is it? Don't we need to Shangri-La for that?
It's probably for the Kashtira matchup, for if they Shangri-La,
Yeah.
you can just summon Fenrir, make Arise Heart, make Zeus.
But I don't... Oh yeah, I was like, I don't want to be doing that in the Kashtira matchup. I don't want to give them macro, but yeah, I guess it's for making Zeus.
Yeah. We're also playing Bahamut Shark Toad.
That's funny, I've not seen that before. We should go over the extra deck.
Yeah, we'll go with the extra deck now. It's 1 Baron de Floor, 1 Kaleido Heart, 1 Rukalos, 1 Dragon's Depelia, 1 Mud Dragon, 1 copy of Grapha, 1 copy of Guardian Chimera, 1 copy of Zeus, Time Thief Redoer, Bahamut Shark, Kashtira Arise Heart, 1 Totally Awesome, 1 Dark, 1 Sprint, and 1 White Woman. It's an odd one.
It's not that odd.
Is it not?
Bahamut Shark is odd. Not entirely sure how we get to specifically Rhino Heart on board.
Well, also is the Mud Dragon of the squad.
Oh,
that's the other
how we're
level 4
making
water.
it. Oh,
Yeah.
and no, Mud Dragon doesn't change something else. It changes itself to whatever you want.
Yeah, it changes itself.
So I guess we can Toad instead of Redoer, which is...
I guess the idea is that if you've milled a dark monster, you can normal summon Rhino Heart, send, say, Havnus, and then Havnus and Radiant, for example, go into Mud Dragon, make Bahamut, summon Toad before you've committed to too many players.
Yeah. I also just don't know what else we're doing, to be honest. Dweller's not relevant this format, so we might as well play a second rank 4, and Bahamut fits the bill.
Yeah.
I mean, it's funny. I guess what like
I
on a
guess.
good hand, we probably end on one of the fusions, Grapha and Toad. That sounds pretty good.
Yeah,
Probably.
it's not bad. I'm surprised there's no IP in here.
We're not really playing links, to be honest with you.
We have Sprins, though. An IP plus any monster makes Sprins, then Merly, and that summons any fusion.
Yeah,
But maybe they just didn't think there was...
so Sprint
or
plus
White
Sprint
Woman.
plus Diviner. A Sprint is made with Diviner, so between Diviner and Merly, you should have access to it too.
I guess, but Diviner's never a level 2, because if you're using the effect, it's never level 6.
Yeah, but then I guess you get to play dependent on hands.
Yeah, I guess it gives you options. We also have Merly, but, like,
Because like you can,
I guess you could use Toad.
that's funny, but you can like Diviner, and like you can get it twisted, or you can make the Sprint for the guaranteed.
Okay. Yeah. Yeah, I suppose so. This list does look good. it did come fourth, right?
Top 8.
So, top 8.
Yeah, it's good.
Yeah,
it does.
It's not bad.
Does things. I mean, we're probably using Divine to make Baron more than anything else. I don't know. I think the links are probably the least relevant part of this extra deck.
Probably, yeah. We'll talk about the side deck. 3 copies of Ghost Spell, 3 copies of Contact C, 1 copy of Scattershot, 1 copy of Harpy's Feather Duster, 1 Call by the Grave, 1 Triple Tactics Talent, 1 Book of Moon, 3 Cosmic Cyclones, and 1 Tier Elements Crime. So, any thoughts on this?
I mean, still doing Scattershot.
Yeah, of course.
Crime is good going first, so I get why it's on the side. Bell is back in popularity.
Yeah, it stops Lab, stops Spice Duels.
Contact C? Which one's Contact C? I never remember which C is which.
It's the one, if you have to use it as material, if you're going to do it.
Oh, okay. So that's for cash.
Partly. Is it for cash? I guess you could use this against cash.
Fenrir,
but it's more likely just for Pally.
Fenrir can't. Yeah, it's for Pearly as well, but Fenrir can't banish something on its own field, can it?
No, its opponent
Yeah,
controls.
so this also is two purpose because it stops cash as well.
Yeah.
I don't know. Deck's good. Based on the Master Duel ban list that came out today, we actually have more tier cards than they do now. But
well, that's not strictly true. They still have Kit Kalos.
That's true, but we have no Havness, I want to say.
Marley was the one that was banned today.
Oh, okay. Never mind. That doesn't matter.
Yeah, pretty much not. It's because they still have like all of the Sprite extra cards. They still have Elf.
Oh, yeah, they do.
And that sort of crap.
Which
because they refused to ban the problem cards for some reason.
Which made Merly the best one at the time. Yeah.
Yeah, because it's just every single time mill.
But this deck just doesn't die, and I mean I'm perfectly happy to have this deck living because I love this deck actually.
Yeah, I've played a bit of Terrarment in the last like 2 months or so, mostly with Lunarlight. It was fun, and it felt really fragile. So I think this deck's in a completely fair place at this point.
Yeah, although I don't like this feeling fragile because I like the sort of ebb and flow nature of the game, and I hope the design principles of sort of playing reactively on your opponent's turn and on your turn sort of stay. I like the design principles for this deck, but it was definitely too powerful for the first attempt.
Yeah, no, I think that's totally fair. I don't think anything should come back. I think we're kind of in like a perfect kind of place with it.
No, I think
with each name at one.
Deck's in a good spot, but I'd like more decks designed in a similar style.
Yeah, I can see that.
Sort of. I mean, are
you saying the Memento hasn't been built in this sort of style?
Absolutely not. I liked Crystron back in the day, and this felt like a modern day like Crystron style deck.
A what sort of style deck?
Crystron. Halkify.
Oh,
Halkify backs, but
right.
like there's a whole archetype around it.
Oh yeah, no, I've heard of those cards before. Yeah.
and obviously
we've got one more topic
as well. Is a similar style.
Oh yeah, Flu's very similar. Yeah, we have one more topic to talk about today though, and that is the locals report. We decided to do one of these because we didn't think we were going to go for an hour. I think we've gone for an hour and a half. But yeah, this is how our locals, I say our locals, my locals, and the majority of the Aegis Yu-Gi-Oh! Lots locals went. The Unchained list that won, that you'll see the profile for on the channel. Labyrinth came second. I came third with Bird Up FTK. Charlie came fourth with Tyr. Billy came fifth with Labyrinth. Caleb with Melfi Sprite. Curtis with Rescue Ace. And Lewis came eighth with Manadium. So before I pass it over to Salad, should see this Unchained video soon. There's Bird Up FTK videos on the channel if you want to check them out. If you want to see an updated list, let me know, but you probably don't. Charlie's tier profile is on the list. Billy's lab list we can definitely get. He's got a very new one. Caleb's Melfi Sprite should also be up soon. It's been recorded for about 3 weeks, but I kept putting it off. And Dylan's done a Rescue Ace profile, so that'll be up on the channel as soon as well. What do you think of our local top 8, Salad?
It's very varied, very meta outside of 2. I was going to say 1, but I don't think Vanadium counts. Unchained really proving themselves to be a good deck. Like I said, those cards are pushing what was fair for that deck, and I'm glad to see it because I like the deck. But I mean, it's another play on your opponent's turn kind of deck, which is
kind of.
I mean,
yeah.
the blue link is, but yeah, 2 Labyrinth. This Locals is far more meta than when I played there. I used to top 8 with gadgets, for example. So maybe that's a sign that Yu-Gi-Oh players are consistently, I don't know, caring more about the meta. Maybe I'm reading too much into this. None of these decks sound particularly interesting, to be honest with you.
Bird of FTK is not interesting in the slightest, I can tell you that much for free.
Bird of FTK sounded interesting 3 years ago when you first brought it to me. But since then, you've been doing the same combo for 3 years. Nothing.
Okay, the combo's only been out since the Atlantis release, which is like a year ago.
But tell me what.
And I've played other decks in between.
What were you doing 2 years ago before the Atlantis? And was it also Warbler plus Sparrow as FTK?
It wasn't an FTK. I was playing Bird Up Pure, I'll have you know.
And Rescue Ferret never...
We're ending on Samorg plus Barrier.
And Rescue Ferret never crept into that list, did it?
It may have done at one point. Nat Beast was a really good card that format, I'm sorry.
Yeah.
Summoning Keras, Bell, and Nerval, was it? I think.
Yeah, I mean, I do love Bird Up. I think it's a really fun deck, but might be time to drop it, mate.
Yeah, I'll move into Salamangreat so I can play another Cyberse deck, but not get by Stewart.
No, actually, never mind. Keep playing it.
I am the bad guy at Locals. Anyway, that was the last topic we wanted to talk about today. Really hope you enjoyed the video if you've somehow managed to make it this far, Billy. And yeah, we'll see you in the next episode next week, and hopefully there will be more news to talk about. See you later.
Perfect time in the Arsenal lineups up. Martinelli, Nketiah, Saka, Havertz, Rice, Odegaard, Partey, left back, Saliba, White, Tomiyasu. Gabriel dropped again. So hang on. Ben White to right back, surely, and we're playing Partey at left back. And Ramsdale starts. Ramsdale starting is interesting. I guess it's too soon to go. Just go to their Twitter. I wondered where you disappeared to. Yeah. I guess who hasn't stopped his recording yet?